Hello, my name is Emrys Garcia, and I'll be going over the topic of social media portrayal of immigrants along the US-Mexico border. Media has such an influence on people's attitudes and behaviors towards issues that may or may not have a direct impact on them or those they know, with other factors influencing those perspectives such as religion, politics, family and friends, etc. One issue that has been discussed over in various ways is how immigrants and the processes and issues they go through along the US-Mexico border is portrayed through the media. What is agenda setting theory? Well, theory focuses on the impact of the media's influence on public opinion. So what does this theory suggest? There's an effect in shaping an individual or organization's attitude and behavior towards specific issues through communications media. The focus is on what issue will get the most attention through various forms of media. Specifically, when using social media, an individual is limited to what information they are exposed to due to their algorithm of interest. So what happens when individuals lack the knowledge or awareness of an issue? Well, the effect varies between what social media platforms an individual uses, how the information is presented to the individuals, and whether the issue is personally applicable. Two types of frames occur within immigration-related issues, which are conflict and human interest. Per Howie Fannin Hoffman explained that conflict frames involve disagreements and division, whereas human interest frames involve empathy on people's stories. Based on a study they did in 2019, the public's attitudes concerning immigrants, refugees, and migration policies shifted between the years 1994 and 2016. From a poll that focused on people's opinions towards immigrants and refugees, they found that about one-third of people in 1996 described immigrants as strengthening the country, while about two-thirds described them as burdens. However, in 2016, these shifted to the polar opposite, with two-thirds describing them as a strength to the country and one-third as burdens. With the media being able to influence others' attitudes and behaviors towards immigration, researchers find that the way immigration-related policies and immigrants are described and how they are portrayed impacts the assumptions of associations with immigrants or the policies. To further understand conflict and human interest, here are some examples with immigration-related issues. With a conflict visual frame on negative images or wording associated with immigrants, it can result in less support and/or sympathy and less willingness to understand immigrants to live in the U.S. due to perceptions of threats. However, with a human interest frame on positive images or wording, it can result in more support and/or sympathy and more willingness to allow them to live in the U.S. due to the feeling of closeness and/or understanding. If immigrants were to pose a threat or bring fear of terrorism into the United States, the more attention and funding for border security and the worse the treatment for migrants. This negativity can target migrants, which may lead them to take dangerous routes to avoid the enforcement of military and security, and for families to be separated through deportation. Through agenda-setting theory, social media has painted immigrants as coming into the U.S. for a better life for themselves or for their families, but are seen as a threat whether it is through terrorism or taking away jobs. Because there is mainly negative exposure, not many individuals, especially immigrants, know about supportive programs and resources. So what are a few programs and/or resources that can be named? Well, an example can be that not many know about the United States Green Card Lottery, which is randomly distributed to migrants yearly so that they can live a life in the U.S. However, this program is mainly catered to those who are not Mexican and Hispanics due to their portrayal from the media. The reason the media promotes these false crises is due to business and profit. Shocking stories and/or photos sell when it elevates fear or threat, no matter if the information isn't true or research isn't done properly on these issues. Despite having these controlled stories and targeting audiences, how it is seen on social media depends on people's interests that form the algorithm of the platform they are using to be exposed to these issues. Incidentally, many might not be looking for this type of information on social media, but based on their algorithms, they may find posts in relation to these issues that may or may not have an impact on them. Previous research has focused on how issues are portrayed through newspaper and television, but with social media being the most common use of media, will be examined through the findings of this survey research are the three subsets of agenda-setting theory effect through social media: users' interest in particular issues, users' social activity, and the information shared on the social media platforms. From this survey that I conducted, what was focused on is the awareness about immigration-related issues based on individuals' interests, negative exposure and stereotypical posts, and the sharing of awareness rather than providing support to immigrants. The study consisted of 22 total participants, ranging from young adults to adults, with the majority of the participants being female. Here are the demographics of the participants, with 3 of the categories thought to be factors of influence on their attitudes and behaviors. Diving into their social media use, 17 out of the 22 participants use more than one type of social media platform. More than 50% spend an hour each day on social media. About 80% of the participants interacted with posts that are either photos, stories, and/or videos/reels. Majority of the participants' For You pages contain posts about trends, memes, politics, social issues, and other, with the categories equaling the same amount of about 17%. Jumping into immigration-related issues. About 55% of the participants have a general awareness of the type of immigration-related issues that are currently happening along the US-Mexico border. Of the individuals the participants knew, they stated that their family and friends, more than 50%, were affected much more than other individuals by immigration-related issues. Participants stated the following immigration-related issues that have affected the individuals they know. It was either separation from loved ones or deportation, no money to pay for a citizenship test/visa. As a student, cannot apply for FAFSA, working hard, meaning time away from home and family, fear of being reported and of travel, and death. With that in mind, participants stated the following as their thoughts on immigration-related issues. There is a need for more awareness on these issues, need for a more fair and humane process as there is a complex and flawed system. Immigrants have little to no support or resources to help themselves, more protection for immigrants and not just more security at the border, and good people are being kept out when they only want a better life or to work. 3 main factors that seem to influence the participants' thoughts on immigration-related issues are family, friends, and awareness of these issues. 14 out of the 22 participants say that what knowledge they have about these issues and what their friends know influence their own attitudes and behaviors. 12 out of the 22 participants say that family is the biggest factor in influencing their attitudes and behaviors on these issues. When it came to being exposed about news and information on immigration-related issues, 7 out of the 22 participants stated that they actively search for news and information about these issues on social media. However, 15 out of the 22 participants stated that they instantly run across news and information about immigration-related issues on social media. So what happened when they were exposed to the news and information on social media? Well, about 68% of participants stated that they interacted with posts that contained both positive and negative statements. From the posts the participants interacted with, the various forms of posts expressed the following about immigration-related issues. There were more positive photos, stories, and videos or reels. However, there was negative comments. Any other forms of posts had the same amount of positivity and negativity at 27%. Overall, it seems that the users who post about immigration-related issues are able to express more negative thoughts through comments than other forms of posts. Of the users who post about the immigration-related issues, majority are from random users at 43%. Now, how did the effect take place? Well, participants stated the following as per what the post expressed about immigration-related issues. Exaggerated untrue stories and stereotypes of immigrants, harsh conditions that immigrants go through at the border and from being deported, worry of immigrants taking all jobs and land in the U.S., immigrants needing more protection and to be allowed to have a better life, and personal stories from migrants about their hardships. Participants stated that the posts they interacted with contained more stereotypes than supported programs or resourceful information from migrants by 10%. How did this effect shape their attitudes and behaviors? Well, participants stated they felt about the following about the posts that expressed positivity or negativity about immigration-related issues. They were annoyed and upset about posts only showing one side of the story that made immigrants look bad. They felt helpless that they couldn't do anything about it, but hopeful that future generations will fight for those issues to be resolved. They felt cautious about how it can happen to anyone they know or even themselves. They felt sympathetic towards immigrants and hoped they can find a better life. Despite participants stating that the posts contained stereotypes, 12 out of 22 participants stated that there was 51% to 75% accuracy to what the posts expressed, which may be due to being exposed to more negativity about immigrants. Overall, here are the findings of the study. There is general awareness of immigration-related issues. The 3 main factors of influence to others' attitudes and behaviors on these issues are family, friends, and awareness of these issues. Users are incidentally exposed to these issues on social media more than being actively searched for. When it came to interactions with posts, photos, stories, and videos and reels showed more positive news and information, but there was more negativity when interacting with comments. Although there was an interaction with both positive and negative posts, there was more than double the amount of negative exposure. Lastly, agenda-setting theory effect took place in shaping individuals' attitudes and behaviors by convincing them that all they can do is feel helpless and sympathize with immigrants and share their anger and annoyance about the stereotypes and untrue stories or information of immigrants. Here is the information for Parent Holly's Fans and Healthman's article in regards to the poll study I mentioned earlier. Thank you for watching. I hope you found the information and the study I was able to conduct interesting. I certainly did. Anyways, thanks again, and I hope you have a good day.